What's happening, guys? Hope you're all having a great day out there. So, the Senior Bowl continues today. Day 2 of practices. Just going to be giving you guys some prospects I think did great today, and just some other things that went on day 2 of practice. So, we'll start here with Creed Humphrey, the tremendous center from Oklahoma. So, for the second straight day, Creed Humphrey just really looked great. When he gets his hands on defensive linemen, it's really just game over. The rep is over when he locks those hands on. He did have a bad snap on Wednesday, but aside from that, the reigning Big 12 Offensive Lineman of the Year has helped himself this week. He looks like he's going to be a day 2, rounds 2 to 3 pick and immediate starter. I think he's definitely going to go in the second round. He could go as early as, the top half of the second round But one thing's for sure, Creed Humphrey is going to be a great center in the NFL, and I'd love him with the Dolphins. He'd be perfect for our scheme. He'd be perfect to play alongside guys like, Solomon Kinley and Eric Flowers and Austin Jackson and Robert Hunt on the edges. Or if we take an offensive tackle this year, who knows what that combination is going to look like. But putting in Creed Humphrey in the middle of that offensive line would elevate this offense and would be great for Tua, great for the offensive line, and just great for this team. Creed Humphrey, I'm a big fan of the Dolphins taking him in round 2. On to another offensive lineman. We got Quinn Miners, interior O-lineman. He's from Wisconsin Whitewater, which I haven't heard in, my couple years here, looking at these prospects. And he's really just stealing the show in Mobile after putting together 2 dominant days of practice. The Senior Bowl is important for every prospect, in attendance obviously, but it's especially critical for a player like Miners who comes from a Division 3 team and didn't get to match up against top competition until he arrived at the Senior Bowl. And he's really showing that he belongs, man. He can really get up on those defensive linemen and, create some huge holes. He's even better than the Buccaneers' Ali Marpet. He's a former D3 player that was at the Senior Bowl several years ago. I think it was 6 years ago, 2014, something like that. But remember, Ali Marpet, he came out of nowhere. He played great at the Senior Bowl. He ran great at the Combine and looks great at the Combine and ended up going in the second round to the Buccaneers. So who knows? Miners may well be on his way to doing the same thing, and you've got to respect the physicality he brings out in the football field. Another guy that I really liked on day 2 was Cornell Powell, wide receiver from Clemson. After having to wait his turn behind guys like Mike Williams and T. Higgins, Powell just finally got a chance in 2020 to show what he could do. It took him 4 years to finally get a chance. His 5th year of eligibility, he finally played for Clemson, and he showed, man, he's a solid receiver. I really like his game. He carried the momentum from the season into practice this week. He did a great job getting on top of coverage and just tracking the ball well on Wednesday. He was very efficient at the top of his routes, and man, he's a strong dude. He can run routes, and he looks good. I don't know why he didn't get a chance for 5 years. His 5th year, he finally got to start full time, but, he's a talented guy, but yeah. He's had 5 years to work on his craft in college, and it definitely shows. Another prospect I thought looked great on day 2 was Quincy Roche from Miami, edge rusher. He's an ACC pass rusher that really looked good on day 2. He was outstanding in team sessions, pushing his way into the backfield and making plays. He does rely on his power over his speed to disrupt offenses. He is a little stiff at times when rushing the quarterback, but he showed today. He's got some talent to rush the quarterback, and I think he's got a real chance to go in the 3rd round. Another wide receiver that impressed me was Amari Rogers from Clemson. His route running was just super crisp on Wednesday. He has strong hands, and he's got a solid overall feel for the game. He was Trevor Lawrence's top target this past season, and he has good bloodlines too. His father was a former Tennessee quarterback, T. Martin, who's been coaching in the NFL ranks for more than a decade. Daniel Jeremiah said that Rogers reminds him a lot of Randall Cobb, the Houston Texans wide receiver who had a long successful run in the league. Is a pretty similar player to Rogers, but I think Rogers is a bigger, stronger guy. Rogers is like 6 foot or 5'11" and 210 pounds, or 5'10", 210 pounds, but he's a super strong guy. You can just see he plays with great physicality. He breaks tackles consistently. He really plays like a power back, and I think he can be a pretty versatile weapon in the NFL. And obviously, moving on to Najee Harris here. Najee, continues to get the spotlight. Part of the reason scouts, place so much emphasis on prospects at the Senior Bowl is the opportunity to compete against, some of the best players in college football, some of the best players that college has to offer. Najee's lack of fear in the moment just shows how great a player he is, and just, tremendous character and just tremendous football character. in Najee's case, he really doesn't have much to prove. He dominated at the college level for Alabama. He's already a first round pick. He really didn't have to take part in the individual drills, but Najee's just showing what kind of a competitor he is, and I love it. I think Flores is going to fall in love with him. If he wasn't already in love with him before the Senior Bowl, he's going to fall in love with the player and the man. Najee is just, the full package. And everyone around the league is just really taking notice. And in particular, two teams. Pro Football Network's Tony Pauline reported that the Dolphins and Pittsburgh Steelers have showed a lot of interest in the 6'2", 230-pound running back. The Dolphins and Steelers both own the 18th and 24th picks respectively. So, Pittsburgh's got no chance. Unless they want to trade up for running back in the first round, which is highly unlikely. Big Ben's at the end of his career. They got to, do their best to help him out. I don't think, I guess if they were to trade up for Najee, that would help out Big Ben because, Najee's incredible. But if we want to take Najee at 18th, I think we'll have no problem taking him there. With a strong Senior Bowl week added to Najee's resume, he could very well leave the Senior Bowl as the top running back in this class, which I think he is already. Even if he didn't participate at the Senior Bowl, I think that Najee is the top receiver in this class. I think he's the most complete back and the most dynamic. It's between him and Travis Etienne, obviously, who's going to be the first selected, but Harris's competitive nature and just his will and want to compete definitely is going to tip the momentum in his favour. But other than that, that's about what I've got for you guys. Today was pretty similar to day one. We had a lot of DBs lining up against wide receivers. I think the guys look pretty similar. Tylan Wallace had a dominant day. I think he looks great. I'd love for the Dolphins to take him. Sage Surratt, had an ankle injury, which doesn't look great for him. Before the injury, he kind of didn't look great at times. He was winning some reps here and there, but injuring that ankle definitely isn't going to help out his stock. Dwayne Eskridge looked great, like I said before. Amari Rogers and Shai Smith, similar players. They're going to be slot receivers in the NFL, but yeah. Day 2 was pretty similar to day 1, and yeah, those are the guys that stood out, and man, I'm hoping the Dolphins take Creed Humphrey and Najee. I'm a big fan of those guys, and yeah, their tape is outstanding, and they're just showing this week, why they're amazing prospects and why they're going to contribute and just compete in the NFL. Alrighty guys, don't forget to leave some feedback in the comments section, and as always, it's fins up, baby. This Senior Bowl experience is going to be absolutely invaluable for the Dolphins. We're going to be able to draft a couple guys here with our first 4 picks. We're going to be able to take a couple guys that we're drafting on our national team, guys like Najee and Humphrey, like I said. But, we got a chance to have a look at Devontae, so it's only going to help us to make the right decision and to strengthen the team on both sides of the ball. Alrighty guys, cheers.